Okay, everybody, we're looking at the top 5 most draftable punters in the 2023 class, and I'm not going to say I've got a good eye for this stuff, but of the 8 guys I talked about last year, 4 of them were drafted, 5 of them are starting in the NFL, 1 is starting the XFL, leaving just 1 who made it to OTAs and another one who would rather focus on spending his time with underage women, so hopefully I can keep this track record up. Coming in with the honorable mentions, we have my favorite punter of all time, Adam Korsak. Korsak is ridiculously consistent with his drop punt and hitting a backspin, but he spent his whole career hitting that end-over-end punt. We'll learn a lot for if he's going to be able to compete at the highest level during his Reese's Bowl tape when he's forced to punt pro style, but my gut tells me not to count him out because his hard work and dedication to the craft allowed him to get this far in college football in a limited amount of time. I think he'll be able to figure it out. Next, we've got Gerardi, the punter with the cowboy collar, makes it in with his impressive ability to drive the ball, putting up a 48.1 yard average over his senior season, which is nothing to sneeze at. He does need to tighten up his directionals and his hang time a little bit, but he could be a real contender in the league, so his pro day is going to be huge to show if he can improve in these categories, and he's also helped out by the fact that he has a 50% touchback rate on kickoffs. Our last honorable mention is Hedley. He has been a consistent high-level contender in the FBS for a while now and has the size and big ball required to play at the NFL level. Australians just have been a bit of a wild card in recent years, citing a lack of performance by Max Duffy and James Smith, but I think if Lou hits a good, consistent spiral, and of course he's going to match his drop punts, he can play at a high level and be a very high contender in the league. He just needs to get to OTAs and prove himself. So coming in at number 5, Baylor has been known to put out some special team studs, and this year is no different, sporting Issac Power. Now, going into the season, I had him at top 3 or even top 2, but Baylor's introduction of a new, much harder to punt Vapor Elite Slim has clearly hurt his average. However, watching him punt at the College Gridiron Showcase Specialist Scouting event, I would easily say don't count him out. His combination of great character, great direction, and phenomenal distance and hang time from punt to punt shows me he can compete with anybody. At the end of the next season, he may even be higher on this list, but due to a turbulent season that we saw this year, I'm going to put him at 5, meaning I'd likely see him get picked up early or even in free agency. I'm ranking him as a 7th rounder or undrafted free agent. Number 4, we have Bryce Barringer, and I know it comes as a surprise to see the number 1 punter in the nation this low, but Bryce to me shows a lot of promise, but also raises a couple questions surrounding his career. I think his pooch pumps are very solid, he's directionally sound, and he can drive the ball like a Porsche. My question comes in the hang time department and how much his rollout punt has been able to get him that extra distance, more so than a traditional style. Like Korsak, he'll be playing in the Reese's Bowl, and it'll answer a lot of these questions, and I think if he has a solid performance there, you can expect teams to go up and draft him. I just think the punters above him have those questions answered already. Ranked 6th to 7th round draft pick. Number 3, Ethan Evans. If you don't recognize the school you're looking at, it's because you've probably never heard of Wingate University. This D2 powerhouse is hosting probably one of the best punters in college football right now, posting a 45.67 yard average. That comes with a caveat that 58% of his punts stayed inside the 20, meaning that he was kicking on a short field a ton. He also hit 30 punts of 50 or more yards, which shows that when he had room, he capitalized on it. And this comes with a 41 yard net punt average. And the icing on the cake, however, is that during all of this punting, he also handled field goal and kickoffs duties, posting a casual 65% touchback percentage. I've also seen him in person, and he can hit a massive ball, and he lifts a truck, and he's legitimately one of the biggest legs college football has ever seen. Now, all this would typically get him a number 1 or number 2 spot, but his small school status makes me believe teams will have more questions about his ability to shine in the biggest games possible, which he'll have an opportunity to do at the Hula Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. Rank 6th to 7th round draft pick. Number 2, Michael Turk, probably the one man in college football that can go ball to ball with Ethan Evans, if that tells you anything. Turk's explosive leg, history of success, and ability to play on some of the biggest stages should be making everyone in the NFL turn their heads. Although he technically had a down year in terms of his average, posting only a 46.7, I think he played a much more mature style of football than years prior. His pooch punt may still need a hair of work, but his directions and hang times shine this year, and as far as I know, he's also the newest to punting in this whole group, leading me to believe that he'll make the biggest improvements over the next 2 to 3 years of anyone, which, with already such a high level of performance, should really make NFL coaches salivate at the thought of having this man on their roster for a long time. Rank late 5th round to 7th round draft pick. Number 1, Brad Robbins. Let's face it, Brad has been a pro since leaving high school. Aside from a slight injury, he's just been a consistent force for the Wolverine special teams. He holds like a stud, and he has the most sound directional abilities out of everybody so far, and his short steps allow for him to be explosive and precise when punting, making him pretty much a full package. And even though Jake Moody's been covering kickoffs, he also has the ability to kick them, making him an even more attractive option in my opinion. And even though he got screwed by also switching to the Vapor Elite Thins, Robbins, he has been able to punt at a top level and do exactly what needs to be done in treacherous conditions. Although his numbers don't jump off the paper, his film certainly does to me, and as you watch it, you just think, yeah, that's the most NFL-ready punter in this class, and I think he'll be snatched up in the draft. Rank high 5th to 6th round draft pick. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. Hope you're having an amazing day, and peace